1. Dichotomy of Control. What's yours, what's rented? Start with Epictetus, born enslaved, teaching free people how to be free. Some things are up to us, judgments, choice, efforts. Some are not, reactions of others, weather, luck. Civilization thrives on forgetting this. We build dashboards for destiny, obsess over comment counts, over-engineer first dates, refresh polls like oracles. That's control theater, burning fuel to move the unmovable. Notice how it backfires. The tighter you grip what isn't yours, the more you drop what is, your tone, your promises, your craft. Try this today. Draw 3 circles. Inner equals I command, attention, words, schedule. Middle, I influence, team norms, friendships, health. Outer equals I witness, markets, traffic, other minds. Commit 80% of energy to the inner, 20% to the middle, 0% to wrestling the outer. When anxiety spikes, label it aloud. Outer ring event, inner ring response. Build tiny contracts with yourself. If the meeting derails, then I ask one clarifying question. If the comment stings, then I wait 2 breaths before replying. At night, close the day with a 2-line audit. I aimed, control it. I surrendered. How humans broke it. We mistook prediction for possession. Forecasts and feeds feel like levers, they're binoculars. The fix isn't apathy, it's deployment. You don't stop caring about outcomes, you stop outsourcing your peace to them. Master your aim, hold your form, release the arrow. After that, let the wind be wind. 2. Virtue is the only good. When character beats the scoreboard, Stoics said the only thing that can't be used to you is character, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. Everything else, money, followers, medals, is a preferred indifferent, nice to have, irrelevant to your worth. How we broke it is obvious. We turned externals into altars. Resume lines replaced reputation. Clout outran competence. We learned to look successful faster than we learned to be dependable. Reframe virtue as a skill, not a sermon. You practice it like deadlifts or debugging. Pick one arena you live in, school, work, sport, and define the moveset. Honesty under pressure, keeping time, fair crediting, clean exits. Run the anonymous test. Would I still do this if no one knew? Run the child test. Would I teach a kid to copy this move? If either answer is no, that behavior is an external wearing a halo. Seneca's reminder helps. Wealth and status are materials. You can build a hospital or a prison with the same bricks. Your craft is choosing. So keep a character ledger next to your task list. For every outcome, deal closed, PR1, log 1 virtue rep, told the hard truth, gave proper attribution, declined a dirty win. Over a month, the ledger tells you who you're becoming. Scoreboards change you by accident. Virtue changes you on purpose. 3. Wisdom, phronesis, better seeing before better acting. Phronesis is practical intelligence, sensing what matters, when, and how much. The Stoic pipeline is simple. Impression, examination, assent, action. We broke it by making speed a value. Headlines became evidence, vibes became verdicts, sharing replaced thinking. Result, we swing between credulity and cynicism, believe anything in our tribe, doubt everything outside it. Train wisdom with a few compact tools. 1. Steelman, before you disagree, rewrite the opposing view so well its owner says, yes, this upgrades your lens. 2. Tripwire question. What fact would change my mind? If you can't name one, you're not reasoning, you're rehearsing. 3. Base rate check. Ask the boring prior, how often does X happen in the wild? It shrinks sensational errors. 4. Premortem. Imagine your plan failed. List plausible causes. Adjust now. 5. Source triage. Primary, secondary, screenshots. Make it a ritual. 1 decision per day gets the full pipeline. Slow down, name your evidence, state your uncertainty, choose the smallest reversible step. Wisdom isn't an IQ flex, it's carpentry. Measure twice, cut once, sand your edges. When you practice that, 2 good things happen. First, you're wrong faster because you notice it sooner. Second, people start trusting your process, which is nicer than being right by accident. 4. Courage. The quiet habit of doing it anyway. Courage isn't fearlessness, it's right action while afraid. Marcus Aurelius wrote during plague and war, he didn't ask for lighter loads, he asked for stronger shoulders. We broke courage by outsourcing it to performance. Online, we're titans. Offline, we dodge the room that needs us. We choose spicy takes over steady risks, confronting a friend kindly, admitting an error publicly, refusing a lucrative but dirty job. Build courage like strength, progressive overload. Start with micro braveries you can do today. Raise your hand first, ask for feedback you fear, disclose one uncertainty in a meeting, apologize without a but. Do a monthly fear setting, thanks Seneca by way of moderns. Write the scary action, worst case scenario, prevention steps, repair steps if it goes wrong, and the cost of inaction. Often the bill for not acting is the heaviest. Pair moral courage with physical practice, hard intervals, cold water, heavy carries. The body learns survive discomfort and the mind borrows the reflex. Rule of thumb, courage chooses cost now, integrity later over comfort now, corrosion later. You will sometimes misjudge and overreach. That's fine. Journal the miss, keep the scar as a waypoint, try again smaller tomorrow. Eventually you become the person others text when something frightening but necessary appears. That's not drama, that's civic infrastructure. 5. Justice, dikaiosune, giving each their due in one shared city, frake. For Stoics, justice is cosmopolitan. We're citizens of one moral city, bound by reason and reciprocal duty. It starts local, pay debts, keep oaths, don't freeload, and scales up to law and institutions. How we broke it. We carved the city into tribes and wrote 2 codes, one strict for them, one lenient for us. We rationalized cheating when the spreadsheet smiled and weaponized rules when the outgroup erred. Repair starts small. Role ethics. In each role you hold, friend, teammate, customer, citizen, list the dues others rightly expect. Then audit your power. Where do you have advantages? Time, knowledge, status. Justice means using advantages to lift load, not to cut the line. At work, credit out loud, share playbooks, create on-ramps. Online, practice charity before critique, cite, don't mob. In civics, show up, vote, read the bill, not just the meme, donate time, not only takes. Add 2 checks. 1. Veil test, Stoic cousin of Rawls. Would I endorse this rule if I didn't know whether I'd be weak or strong, insider or outsider? 2. Invisibles pass, who is affected that isn't in the room? Call one, ask, adjust. Justice is less a speech than a distribution of chances, burdens, praise, and blame. When you practice it, your life feels less like a private empire and more like a well-run neighborhood. That's the Stoic bet. A just person can sleep, a just city can last. 6. Temperance, sophrosin, the art of enough in a world of more. Temperance isn't anti-pleasure, it's pro-freedom. It asks, do I own this desire or does it own me? We broke it by building binge economies, infinite scrolls, autoplay, engineered snacks, microbets, then telling ourselves we're just choosing. A Stoic answer is not gritted teeth, it's architecture. Put tomorrow's self in the room now. Smaller plates, apps off the home screen, cash budgets, alarms that end sessions, friends who have permission to say time. Create friction where you overindulge and runways where you underindulge, books on the desk, shoes by the door. Try a weekly pleasure audit. List your top 5 pleasures, mark which leave you better 1 hour later. Keep those. For the rest, set caps, quantity or minutes, and stick to them for 7 days. How we broke it, we confused abundance with autonomy. Temperance restores the difference. It's not don't eat cake, it's don't let cake write your calendar. 7. Assent and Impressions. Don't marry the first thought. Stoic psychology is a pipeline. Impression, pause, test, assent, or reject, act. We broke it by worshiping speed, hot takes, instant shares, screenshots of scripture. Fix it with tiny breaks. 1. Name the impression. Say it seems like, out loud, that softens certainty. 2. 120-second rule. Never repost or reply within 2 minutes. 3. 3 handles. Is it true? Is it useful right now? Is it kind, necessary to say? 2 yeses minimum or it waits. 4. Source ladder. Primary, reputable secondary, pundit thread, cropped image. 5. Premise swap. Argue your opponent's point so well they'd sign it, then see what remains. How we broke it. We let algorithms become our inner judge. Assent is you taking the gavel back. 8. Premeditatio Malorum. Rehearsal that shrinks fear. Seneca's move. Picture setbacks before they arrive so they're smaller when they do. We broke it with magical thinking. If I visualize only success, nothing bad can happen. And comfort bubbles that make ordinary pain feel apocalyptic. Do a premortem twice a week. It failed. Why? List 5 plausible causes. Prefix 2. Write if-then scripts. If I bomb the exam's first problem, then I skip to number 3 and reset breathing. Build exposures. Control discomforts that raise your floor. Cold shower, difficult conversation, commute without headphones, a day without sugar or social apps. Pack a Plan B kit, spare charger, cash, copies of IDs in cloud, contact list. How we broke it? We treated hope as a plan. Premeditation keeps hope and builds a plan, so surprise loses teeth. 9. Amor Fati, turn the obstacle into the assignment. Amor Fati isn't passive. It's the muscle that says, this is mine to use. The email that ruins your morning becomes your clarity drill. The breakup becomes your honesty curriculum. The injury becomes your patience coach and programming season. Practice the because not although rewrite. This delay will make the work better because I'll iterate once more. Not although it's annoying. Ask the work order question. Given this is real, what action honors my values in the next 10 minutes? Keep an obstacle log where each hit spawns one habit. Late train, read 10 pages, rejection, improve pitch, and send 2 more. How we broke it. We bargain with the past and sue reality for breach of contract. Amor Fati cancels the lawsuit and hands you tools. Love is a verb here. Use what happens. 10. Memento Mori. Death as a high-resolution filter. Remembering death isn't morbid, it's clarifying. It sorts the vital from the vanity. We broke it by hiding death, sanitized hospitals, airbrushed ages, and then wondering why we procrastinate like immortals. Try a time ledger. Estimate your remaining weeks. Age 90 is 40,680 weeks total. Mark the current one. Not to scare, just to choose. Do a 1-page legacy audit each quarter. 3 lines you want said about you and 3 weekly behaviors that would make them true. Practice micro-eulogies while people are alive. Tell a friend one specific thing you admire this week. Schedule a mortality minute at night. If this were my last year, what would tomorrow look like? Then put one small item on the calendar that matches the answer. How we broke it. We treated time like a refillable drink. Memento Mori makes it non-refillable, which turns meaning up and panic down. Live so your calendar can stand next to your obituary without blushing. Want the next 5? View from above, cosmopolitanism, role ethics, preferred indifference, discipline of desire. In the same voice? 11. View from above, trading inches for light years. Marcus tells himself to rise, mentally, until cities shrink to freckles and insults to dust. The move isn't escapism, it's perspective therapy. From altitude, status games lose plot, deadlines lose doom, and other people's moods look like weather, not verdicts. Practice an altitude ladder: room, building, city, continent, orbit. At each rung, redescribe today's problem in 1 sentence. Next, the 10-10-10. Will this matter in 10 days, 10 months, 10 years? If not, adjust your investment. Keep a satellite diary, 1 line nightly that frames the day from 400 kilometers up. A primate typed, lifted, and loved. Net positive. How we broke it? We zoomed in until pixels became prisons. The fix isn't detachment, it's proportion. Care precisely as much as the view warrants, then return to ground to do the next right thing. 12. Cosmopolitanism, 1 city, many passports. Stoics called us co-citizens of a moral city, kin by reason before nation. That doesn't erase local love, it orders it. Start with hierarchy circles: self, family, neighborhood, nation, humankind. Each week, pull 1 action, 1 circle outward. Check on a neighbor, donate locally, translate something useful online. Practice border-crossing empathy. Pick an outgroup media source and steelman 1 argument from it monthly. Volunteer in a role where your status doesn't matter: soup kitchen, cleanup crew, tutoring. Keep a human ledger. 3 names you'll help this month who can't repay you. How we broke it. We used flags as identity vending machines and borders to do jobs conscience should. Cosmopolitanism isn't globalist vibes, it's daily reciprocity scaled, many loyalties, 1 dignity. 13. Role ethics. Play your parts like a pro. You're not oneself, you're a cast: child, friend, teammate, citizen, maybe mentor or maker. Stoic ethics asks, what does this role require now? Do a role inventory each quarter. For each part, write duties, boundaries, failure modes, and 1 upgrade. Define success behaviors, not vibes. Reply within 24-ish. No gossip about absent teammates. Credit out loud. When roles clash, use a triage rule: life, health, truth, justice, loyalty, preference. And plan ethical exits: how to resign a role cleanly when you can't meet its standard. Notice, handoff, honest reason, no torching. How we broke it. We collected titles like NFTs and forgot the duties encoded in them. Role ethics restores responsibility as the price of belonging and the source of self-respect. 14. Preferred indifference. Like it, don't kneel to it. Health, money, reputation. Stoics called them preferred indifference. Sensible to prefer, fatal to worship. Build a values portfolio. 70% virtue, non-negotiables, 20% preferreds, guardrailed goals, 10% experiments. Right tripwires for idolatry. If you hide a result, bend a rule, or neglect a person, you've crossed from prefer to prey. Do loss drills. 1 day a month. Live as if you lost an external. No car, no social budget cap. Learn you still are without it. Use a windfall rule. Any surprise gain gets split. X% to future security, Y% to generosity, Z% to play, before your desires hold a caucus. How we broke it. We made preferences into gods and panicked when they didn't answer prayers. Keep them on the shelf, not the altar. 15. Discipline of desire. Aim where your agency lives. Epictetus again. Want only what depends on you. Translate outcomes into inputs you control. Not win the scholarship, but deliver 2 polished essays and 3 practice interviews. Keep a desire journal for 1 week. Every craving gets logged with trigger, intensity, and aftermath. Redesign your environment first, not willpower. Apps off front page, snacks out, books and shoes in reach. Employ urge surfing. Name the craving, breathe for 90 seconds, watch it crest and fall. Pair with if-then plans. If I crave a scroll, then I walk 60 seconds and drink water. End days with a no-zero rule, 1 inch toward a value even when exhausted. How we broke it. We trained desire to sprint where agency can't follow. Lotteries, likes, luck. Bring it home. Want the work, not the weather. Desire becomes sturdy when it points at what your hands can actually do. 16. Discipline of action. The next right thing, done steadily. Stoicism loves plans, but it worships doing. Action has 2 enemies. Chaos, too many priorities, and cosplay, motion that feels like progress. We broke this discipline by turning busyness into a costume. Meetings as theater, tabs as trophies, starting 10 things and finishing none. Fix it the Stoic way. Shrink the battlefield. Each morning, name your 1 target, the single outcome that, if achieved, makes today count. Wrap it in a time box, 45-15 or 50-10, phone outside the room, timer on. Convert verbs to visible outputs, not study but solve 12 problems, not work on deck but ship 8 clean slides. Preload friction for distractions, site blockers, calendar auto declines, and preload runways for work. Open the doc to the exact paragraph you'll start on. Keep a done list next to your to-do. Momentum needs receipts. End the day with a tiny after action. What moved? What jammed? What's the next concrete cue? Action grows when the loop is short and honest. The point isn't heroics, it's reliability. A Stoic day is a rhythm you can repeat, not a movie you can brag about. 17. Discipline of Ascent. Guard the inner court. Epictetus says impressions knock. You decide who enters. We broke this by letting feeds and factions rent space in our heads. The inner judge started rubber stamping whatever arrived loudest. Reclaim the gavel. Install a 3-gate ritual for any belief you're about to adopt or broadcast. 1. Is it true? What's my evidence? Primary, rumor. 2. Is it mine to hold? Does this belief improve choices I actually control? 3. Is it proportionate? How much attention does it deserve? If a claim passes, assent lightly, with probabilities, not absolutism. Given X and Y, I'm 70% confident Z. If it fails, park it in a quarantine file you review weekly. Most noise dies on its own. Practice opinion fasting. You don't need to take on everything. Tie your identity to process, not positions. I revise when shown better data. The inner court's job isn't to be popular, it's to be credible. When assent is disciplined, mood swings shrink, and your yes-no starts to mean something again. Living according to nature, logos. Align with reality, not advertising your bias. For the Stoics, nature means 2 things: the order of the world, cause, effect, limits, and your best design, a rational social animal. We broke it by treating natural as a label, not a law, selling junk with leaves on the box while ignoring sleep, sunlight, movement, honesty, and limits. Real alignment is practical. Go with your biology. Consistent sleep, wake, meals that don't whiplash you, movement daily. Your psychology, deep work in the hours when your mind is strongest. Social connection before scrolling. And your ecology. You live on a finite planet. Behave like a steward. Do a weekly design audit. What in my routine fights my design? Late caffeine? Zero daylight? Doom scroll before bed? Swap one fight for a fit. Add a nature anchor. 20 minutes outside, no headphones. Let scale and weather reset your nervous system. Intellectually according to nature means reason rules impulse, slow claims through evidence, slow wants through values. The payoff isn't purity, it's coherence, a life that stops arguing with the very body and world it inhabits. 19. Equanimity and fortune. Same face to win and loss. Marcus, receive without pride, let go without attachment. We broke this by riding outcomes bareback, ecstatic on wins, wrecked on losses, then calling a roller coaster a personality. Train steady joy. Run a 2-column diary each evening. Left equals gains, right equals losses, both inked in the same calm tone. Practice negative visualization before big moments. I might lose, here's how I'll respond with grace. And anti-fragile gratitude after. 3 things this setback is training in me. When you do win, recycle fortune. Convert a slice into growth, courses, tools, a slice into generosity, a slice into a boring buffer that lowers future fear. Build identity on behaviors, not results. I show up, I tell the truth, I do the reps. Markets, coaches, audiences, these are weather. You are the sailor. Equanimity isn't indifference, it's skilled ballast so you can keep sailing when the sea changes its mind. 20. Contemplation, action loop. Think nightly, act better daily. Stoicism is a feedback system. Morning, set intention. Day, do the work. Night, audit, forgive, adjust. We broke this by journaling like poets and living like ping pong balls. Beautiful reflections, unchanged calendars. Make the loop mechanical. Morning card. Today, I will practice one virtue in one situation by one behavior. Midday checkpoint. 60 seconds to rate 0 to 2 and reset. Evening examine, 5 minutes. 1. Where did I live my values? 2. Where did I drift? 3. What tiny tweak makes tomorrow easier? Write tomorrow's first cue, the exact file, the exact line, the exact phone number. End with self-respect, not self-scolding. I'm a work in progress and progress is scheduled. Once a week, promote one lesson into a rule, if then, and one into a ritual, fixed slot in the calendar. Contemplation without change is nostalgia. Action without reflection is noise. The Stoic signature is the closed loop, quiet thinking that hits the ground as repeatable moves.